In this video, I'm going to give you the exact method that I've been using to book over 100 sales calls every single month for the past 5 months for my business, only using Twitter. And this video is literally designed for you if you run any sort of B2B business, whether that be an agency, whether you're a web designer, whether you're an appointment setter. And it'll also work really, really well if you have a SaaS company whose ICP hangs out on Twitter. No matter what your business is, by the end of this video, you'll be able to generate more leads than you'll know what to do with. Now, if you don't know, Twitter is the single best place to do lead gen right now. For whatever reason, a bunch of people just overlook it. Compared to something like cold email, you're going to get way better open rates, way better reply rates, and just a ton more people actually replying positively to whatever it is that you're sending. Because with cold email, and I hate to break it to you, but 99% of the time, people will think you are spamming them. And compared to Instagram, on Twitter, you're actually way more likely to land in someone's inbox. Because on Instagram, not only are you faced with another million people doing outreach to the same exact person with really similar scripts, but also the fact that most people worth reaching out to have setters. So even if you do land in their inbox, their setter will pretty much just ignore your message, and whoever you're trying to reach out to will never really read it. So instead of just being another faceless email address in someone's inbox, on Twitter, people can actually see your face right as they're looking at your message. But not only that, but they can also click on your whole profile. They can see your cover photo, your full name, they can see your description, they can click on any links, and they can also have a look at your content, which is huge when establishing credibility, which is why it's so important to actually have a really good looking profile. And the volume that's going out on Twitter really does not compare with the volume that's going out on cold email, for example. So the odds of actually standing out and people reading your message are just exponentially higher. And to be perfectly honest, the method that I'm using currently to book all these meetings is not manual like it used to be. And so for the first step in my method, I actually use a tool that allows you to scrape leads that fit your exact ICP within literally just a couple clicks. So the first thing I do is I open up Twitter and then I just think to myself, who does my ideal audience follow? So that is what you need to know. Okay, so you need to know who has your target audience's attention. Once you know that, everything else from there is really, really easy. So in this example, let's say we are trying to reach out to SaaS founders. So we're going to go and look up Dan Martell. So Dan here has 76,000 followers and he follows 1.2 thousand people. All we need to do is we just need to copy his link, and then we are going to go to our tool. We're going to sign in. We're going to go to find leads, and you're going to hit new lead source, and then you're going to select the lead scraper. Once you've got the lead scraper selected, it's going to give us an option of importing a tweet source, which is essentially just going to be a tweet where we can pull in all the data from everyone that's interacting with that tweet, or we can do an account source, which essentially means someone else's followers or even your followers. Like you could plug in your account in here. So here, for example, we want to scrape everyone that he follows and everyone that follows him. So we're going to go ahead and select both of these. Then we're going to hit add a source, and you can keep doing this. So for example, I know that these guys right here have a really big community of B2B founders, SaaS founders. So we can go ahead and add these guys in here as well. You just copy the link, you paste it in here. And then again, it's going to give you the exact same thing. Followers following, you can select one, the other, or both. And then there we go. We have 143,000 potential leads here that we can now go ahead and filter down. So we're going to go ahead and hit next. And what I like to do here is I like to filter down by keywords that my ICP are going to have in their bio. You can do a quick ad. So if you already have a list, say if you're already running some other outreach method, maybe cold email, you already know what the keywords are. So you can go ahead and add these in here. But essentially all you need to do is you can do word by words. We can do CEO, we can do founder. I'm actually going to do quick ad, and then let's see, founder. So I have a bunch of them in here, and then there we go. So let's do CEO, let's do SaaS, right? Or growth. One that I really like for SaaS is just having the word growth in there, like growing a SaaS. And then there we go. We can just hit add a filter, and then our list of 150,000 people goes all the way down to 41,000 leads. Now what we can also do is we can exclude keywords. So I wanted to exclude everyone that had Bitcoin in their bio or whatever it might be. And what I always recommend is that you message people that at least have 100. But if you know that your target audience has, for example, more than 1,000 followers, you can go ahead and do that. And if you know that you're not going to be wanting to reach out to anyone that has maybe more than 100,000 followers, you can do that as well. You can add the filter, and now our list went all the way from 150,000 to 87 leads. So let me just get rid of this. There we go. And then that will go up to, there we go, 21,000. Now we are going to give this a name. So we're going to do demo, and we're going to call it Dan Martell. We're going to go ahead and hit save. And then there you go. You are literally all good to go. If you want to reach out to all these guys manually, what you could do now is you can hit download. Once it finishes importing, you can export that list into a Google Sheet, and then you can message each one of those guys manually. So that's perfectly doable. Something else that I want to show you is if you go to lead source, you can do lookalike leads. So if you have one specific lead that you know is your perfect audience. It works really well if you have maybe a previous client's Twitter profile or maybe your dream client's Twitter profile, and then we'll find people that are similar to that lead that you import. Okay, so that's really, really useful. CSV import, if you already have a list of leads, you can import your leads through the CSV import feature, and then you can also do a database search. This tool has a database of every single lead that's ever been scraped on the platform that you can essentially just filter down, and that also works really, really well. And so obviously now that we have leads, we can move on to step number 2, which is actually sending the messages, and we can use the exact same tool to do that. And like I said, you can take the list that we just scraped and then just start messaging people manually, but that's going to take a bunch of either your time or someone on your team. So this is about being as efficient as possible, and if you have a tool that can personalize each and every single message, then there is literally no reason as to why you shouldn't be using it. And before you go to the comments and say that automated DMs don't work, I agree, they don't work if you don't do them correctly. But if you're sending a lot of volume and they're all personalized, then there is literally going to be no noticeable difference between a manual message and an automated message with personalization. So when it comes to messaging, this tool has a bunch of different options. Essentially, you can have AI enhance your script, or you can have AI generate a script for you. I always like being in control of whatever it is that I'm sending, so I just like using AI to personalize my script. So I'm going to go ahead and select script personalizer, then I'm going to move on to configure message. And because we're going to be using AI, you want to make sure you have the advanced section of GPT selected. You want to make sure that you have some context in there. It doesn't have to be really elaborate. As long as you say in a clean sentence what it is that you do, you'll be completely fine. Now, in terms of script, this right here is one of our best performing scripts. So let me walk you through what makes this script so amazing. So right off the bat, we have hello, hi, first name. So first name is obviously the variable. And so we'll use AI to find the prospect's first name. If there is no first name, or if it can't detect it, it won't kind of leave you hanging. It'll say like, hey there. You can rest assured that even if it doesn't find it, your message will not look bad. So that's number 1. And we're using Spintax. Next, we have a couple spaces in here, and I'm going to show you what that does in a second. And then we say, hey, I put together a list of 1,000, and we ask AI to use the lead's website to determine who their ideal customer might be. And then we ask AI to insert some job titles from their ICP. So essentially this would read, I put together a list of 1,000 agency owners who might be interested in, and then again, we use AI to determine what their product or service is. So who might be interested in your video production services. Cool. If I send it over at no cost, totally free, on the house, no strings attached. This right here is super, super powerful because you can do this at scale. Every single one of those prospects is going to receive a different message because each one of those messages are going to be personalized based off of not only their tweets, but also all the websites that they have listed within their bio. And the reason why I left the space in here is because there is this setting called split messages, which essentially is going to make this look even more natural because it's going to send 2 different messages. So the first message will say hello, hi, first name. So that's going to be one message bubble. And then message bubble number 2 will be this whole thing. Show you, and what's really nice about this is that you can test out your prompts. So for example, we can go ahead and hit generate with Mimi right here. So here we go. Hey Mimi, I put together a list of 1,000 health enthusiasts, nutritionists, wellness bloggers who might be interested in exactly what she provides. Cool if I send it over, on the house. This has everything that a good message would want. It has a bunch of personalization, specifically 3 points of personalization. You're providing a ton of value, and there is literally no risk on the prospect side. And so these messages convert really, really, really well. And I highly recommend that you take those specific points whenever you're writing your messages. And what's really cool about Drippy is that not only will it look at their tweets, not only will it look at their description, but it'll also look at all and any website that they have. What's really cool as well is that you can add as many follow-ups as you would like. So you can just hit add follow-up. You can add as many follow-ups. You can select how many days in between. And honestly, one of my favorite parts about this automation is that it has some insane filters at the bottom. So if you hit show advanced settings, then you can skip previously contacted so you're not reaching out to the same person twice. If you have multiple accounts, you can select prevent cross-account duplicates so that, again, if you have 5 accounts running and they all have similar lead lists, then you don't want to be messaging the same people. So you can use this so that lead lists essentially don't kind of collide with one another. AI location check. So if you know that your ICP is only in the US, for example, you can select to only reach out to people in the US. You can select to only reach out to people that speak English and only reach out to people that have been active within the last 30 days or whatever you want this number to be. After that, you just want to select how many messages you want to send out, and then you hit start automation, and then you're pretty much golden. And if you're curious to know what the tool is that I use throughout this video, it's called Drippy.ai. This is a very shameless plug, but the link will be down below in the description. There is a 7-day or 250 message free trial, so you can try this whole thing out. You can essentially just copy what I showed you, try it out for yourself, and then decide whether or not you want to keep it. And so this video is just a practical guide on how to do lead gen on Twitter, but I bet you probably want to become a cold outreach wizard. And if you think that what one of the most successful 9-figure entrepreneurs of this last decade thinks about cold outreach might be valuable, then click somewhere on the screen to watch the video going over exactly what Alex Hormozi has to say about cold outreach and how it applies to Twitter outreach so that you can take these principles and apply them for yourself and book a ton of calls for your business. And that's pretty much it. I appreciate you a ton. Let me know if you have any questions. If you want us to set this up for you, there will be a Calendly link down below in the description. We will speak soon. Peace.